guys, welcome back to my Get to Know You series. This is video number 2 and I'm really glad that you guys are back. I hope you enjoyed video number 1. Like I said in my other video, my name is Catherine Brown. I'm a mom and a wife. I'm also a cheerleading coach and I'm a health and fitness coach. And I just kind of want to talk to you guys today about, just some light and fun things. I graduated from high school in 2007. I went to a small private school. People always laugh when I tell them that there was 12, a dozen people in my graduating class. And they always find that really funny. Like, I guess even for a private school, that's still really small. But yeah, there was 12 of us, 6 boys and 6 girls. And it was really fun. I liked it. I mean, looking back, I didn't quite have the same experiences that a lot of typical people do. Even the kids that are graduating this year, like, they get to do so much more than we did, and it makes me kind of jealous. But the school is growing, and I think that's really awesome that the school is growing. And when it was me, I mean, my 12, that was the largest graduating class that the school had ever had. So what's the point in having like a prom or big senior trips? There's 12 of us. Like, what? So yeah, there was 12 of us, and we did a lot as a high school, not so much as like the senior class, but it would be like the high school or like the junior senior class. We would do a lot together, so we were all really close, and it was kind of a good time. But at the same time, like, you kind of had to be close. You couldn't, if you were fighting with your friend, like, you had to get over it really quick because you didn't have too many other friends to pick from. But in high school, I did a lot of extracurriculars. I was in drama, I did acting, and I did hair and makeup quite a lot. There was always 2 plays when I was in school. There was like a spring and then a fall. And so one, I would usually have like one of the lead roles, and then the other, I would have like a smaller role, and I would do hair and makeup too. And that was really fun. That was kind of how I got into wanting to do hair and makeup, and then later on went to beauty school and cosmetology and started doing all that. I also did cheerleading. I started that in my junior year. My best friend Abby actually got me into that. She was on the squad and convinced me at the end of my sophomore year that I should try out and do it my junior, senior year, and I loved it, and then I just have always loved it. I did soccer before that in 8th and 9th grade, and I really liked that, but it was a small school, and so after 9th grade there wasn't a team anymore, so I didn't really do anything in 10th grade. I hadn't found what I wanted to do yet, and then that's when cheerleading came in. I did a lot of other kind of things, like the newspaper. We had like a little newsletter that I was on. I did, worked on the yearbook. I did a lot of helping with other classes and things like that. So I feel like I was really active in my school, and I really liked it growing up. My brother did basketball. He also did a lot outside of the school too. So we were just always very active kids, doing a whole lot. My mom was really glad when I started driving so that I could drive myself to all of my practices and my events, and then drive my brother. She was so tired of driving us around town all the time. My family, I come from just a family of 4, a mom, a dad, a younger brother. He's 4 years younger than me. He's actually serving in the U.S. Army right now. This is him. He's deployed overseas right now, but I hope that he's going to be able to come back towards the end of the year. That's the hope and the plan, and so I'm doing a lot of praying and manifesting that he'll come back safe and sound. My dad and my mom, they've been married for, 30 plus years. I think it was like 35 or 37. So it's really great being able to grow up and have a great parents to look up to. It's just always been us here. My dad was in the Air Force way back. I think he got out just before my brother was born. We never grew up as like the typical military family, so we weren't moving around, but that's what brought them out here from the West Coast. That's where the rest of my family is. My grandmas, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, everybody. So, growing up, I was always really jealous of the people that had their cousins here and they had their grandmas, and, grandparents stay at school, they have both their grandmas and, their grandparents. But I never had that growing up, and that was always kind of a bummer to me. So I'm really glad now that Inara, my daughter, is able to experience that, and she's got her grandparents here, and she's got a few cousins. And one day the plan is to move out to Washington and be closer to the rest of my family and see my grandmothers and get to know my cousins. I never grew up with a relationship much with my cousins. So growing up with just me and my brother, it was okay. It wasn't bad. We found a lot of things to do and to keep us busy. We loved video games. I think that's one of my favorite memories growing up, is playing the video games. I remember my mom, she bought us a Nintendo 64 at Sam's Club one day when it was like on a package sale, and it had the 2 controllers and the game and the game system, and the game that was in it was Legend of Zelda. And that was like our game growing up. We loved it. We played that all the time. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the game or not, but there's this little fairy in it. And I don't know if I pronounce it right, so if I don't, correct me. But the little fairy that follows Link around, I think her name was Navi or something like that. And she was always so annoying and would be like, hey, listen. So, I don't know, it was just always kind of like an inside joke. I'd be talking to my brother and I'd be like, hey, listen. So when he left to go overseas, he sent me this little note, because my parents went up to see him before he left, and he sent me this note, and he left me this little, I don't know if you guys can see, the little fairy from Zelda in a little, bottle necklace. And I think I just bawled my little eyes out when I got it, because that was just kind of our little thing. And so it was really special that he remembered that, and I loved it. Growing up, I never really loved having a brother. I always thought that he was like this annoying little brother. I kind of always wanted a sister that I could hang out with. But now that I'm older, I think that I'm appreciating him a lot more. And maybe that's just kind of how things work in the way of the world. You always, when you're younger, can't stand your younger sibling. But then when you get older, and you just kind of develop this bond a little bit. So I guess that's me. That's my little get to know you video this week. But I would love to hear from you guys. What are your families like, and what kind of things did you do in high school? So just leave me a comment below, and if you really like this video, just give it a thumbs up. I would also love to know, what kind of things do you want to know about me? So just leave it all in the comments below and let me know, and I look forward to making another video for you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you later.